thread it through the lingual side. Take the end and put it through the loop. Wrap the floss across the bow 3 times and thread it from bottom to top. So this is how it should look, guys. Your wing clamp. This is how it should look when you're done. Again, lay the dam on top of the frame, or the frame on top of the dam, and hook the 2 corners on top, then hook the 2 bottom corners. And then you can engage the rest of the little prongs. All right? These notches here, there's a notch. Try to get this to autofocus. Hang in there, guys. All right, there's a notch. What did I do with my composite? Here it is. All right, there's a notch here and on the other side. When you engage your clamp, do not go beyond the notches. If you do that, you're going to have a hard time disengaging the clamp forceps from your clamp. So you want to stop at the notches. So when you use this, okay, folks, so here you go. Engage your clamp. When this is in the locked position, here, let me go back. You see this little locking device? Okay, when you squeeze on the handle, the locking device disengages. See, you can either engage it or disengage it. This way or that way. When it's in its locked position, you can handle the forceps anywhere except the handles. So if you want to insert the clamp, you can do it when the clamp is on the forceps. Handling the forceps anywhere except the handles. So that's another way you can engage it. When you go to the mouth, however, you want the locking device in the unlocked position, because when you go to your patient, I'm going to have to take this off. Folks, look at what I'm doing up here. You're going to slide the lingual jaw into position first, and then the buckle, and then release your forceps. And check and make sure it's stable. So you go to the mouth as one unit. You should have your frame, unless we need to stretch the dam off of the wings. So you're going to just take your instrument and push the dam off of the wings. And over here, like this, the side of the instrument. All right? So when you're done, that's what it should look like. To the hole of the clamp, squeeze, pull the clamp off, the dam and frame come off together as a unit. This way. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my wingless clamp, which of course I have threaded to go the wrong way. And I'm going to take some lubricant and put that on the tissue side. Thank you. Put that on the tissue side of the dam. So I got that prepared. Now I'm going to put the clamp on the upper arch. The clamp is going to go on the tooth this way. Remember, the bow's to the distal. So I'm going to engage the clamp into the forceps. And I'm going to take my dam, and I'm going to pop the bow through just like that. I'm going to pull the dam back, and I'm going to go to the mouth, and I'm going to seat my clamp lingual and buckle. Okay, check that, make sure it's stable. And now I'm going to open this up. Thumbs underneath, index fingers on top. I'm going to pull up and over and expose the clamp and the tooth. Now I'm ready to get my frame on. I'm going to come in parallel to the patient's face. I'm at 11 o'clock because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you'd be at 1. Remember, parallel to the face. Not this way, because you're going to dig into their face. My dominant hand is holding one arm of the frame, while my opposite hand hooks the other corners. Then I'm going to hook the bottom and top corner on the opposite side. I'm sorry. I'm used to using my other frame. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. And then the rest of the prongs are engaged. Now, when you I told you I have the floss on the wrong side. It really should be on the buckle. But because I flossed it incorrectly, that's the reason why you want the floss up on the top side of the clamp. And then, like I said, you can actually undo a hinge like this and then hook this back up. So if the clamp does pop off, it's not going to go very far. So that's the modified wing method. Yep. And the dam and frame come off together. All right. We want to make sure our holes are not too close to the frame's edge. Notice how I lined this up? I'm using the inside of the frame, lining it up with my paper template. And we should have holes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 punched out on our template. And we're going to use a felt tip pen to mark it. Remember, we're going to hold this like this. Okay? Not even with the top, but down. If you're working on the lower arch, it would be in reverse, you see. You have to make sure your holes are away from the frame. Guys, just look up here a minute. You have to pull the dental dam into the punch, see? It's a little tricky. Like this. See what I did? You got to pull it in. And then if you do the 3-hole, I'll let you do the 3-hole for the remaining. Stabilize this end of the dental dam using a wedget cord. All right? Now, nobody should be working on their mannequin. You should be watching the screen.
Would you please repeat this step slowly so they can see?
Okay.
No wedge.
I am going slow. Okay. Hold on. I'm repeating this one more time. You take your wedget cord and you just stretch it like a rubber band. Okay? And then trim it up. Don't trim it too short if you don't have cotton forceps in your setup there. All right. So now the holes are all lining up on me. Okay, can we please just look at the screen and not work on your mannequins? Because you're really going to miss a very important thing I'm trying to show you. All right, so the knifed edge concept is taking the edge through first. Look what I'm doing. See how that's popping in? If the contact isn't too tight, the lubricant will help the dam slip into position. Where I run into a problem is back here where my premolars and molars are. And so I'm going to use the knifed edge combination with floss. So I'm going to wrap my floss, taking an edge through first, looping it, taking a little more down. Notice I'm not bunching it. I'm just taking a little bit at a time. And I'm looping it, pulling it through. Going to the next one now, taking an edge through first. All right, little by little. I'm using the floss to work that edge through. And I may have to do that several times. There we go. Last one. There we go. Okay. Now my dam is through the contacts. So the last step is inversion. Normally I'll suction everything dry, and if I have an assistant, I'll hold my instrument about a 45-degree angle. Okay. And just roll the instrument and just come in like this. Now, the canine is always a challenge. So I'm going to show you what I do with the canine. I'm going to use dental floss to floss the distal and the mesial. I'm going to grab the two ends of floss, and then I'm going to take the dental dam. I'm trying to, could you hold that lower? Thank you. I'm going to tip it though so they can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take this and tuck this under like this. And then I'm going to cross my floss gently. Uncross it and come through the contact so you don't disturb what you just did. You can go on to the next tooth. I'm off the screen. Okay. And then you can go to the next tooth like I showed you and repeat the process. So if you have trouble inverting, this is another way that you can invert and get a nice inversion. See, look at that. Now, I'm going very slow for you guys. Dental dam has a learning curve to it. It may seem like it's time consuming, but the more that you practice, the easier it becomes. And you can apply dental dam in a very short period of time. I normally could do a quadrant in about a minute. All right, guys, look at the screen. All right, I'm holding the clamp the way it goes in the mouth. I'm at 11 o'clock position. I'm going to engage the notches that are closest to my dominant hand, and I'm going to slide the clamp into position. That's a 212. Or the brinker be 5 or 6. Okay? So there you go. See what I'm talking about? The clamp does wobble a lot. So you have to, that's why you don't use it as a primary clamp. And what you have to be careful is that you don't trap dental dam around the jaw, so you can adjust that if you have to. There. All right, so put your clamp in position. Finger in the buccal vestibule and you point the scissor away from the tissues, making sure you engage the entire blade of the scissor into the interseptal dental dam. And you cut, be careful not leaving any dental dam. The clamp, the posterior clamp comes off last. The dam and the frame come off together.